Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Sounds cool, right? It's catchy. It's rebellious. It's iconic. But here's the truth. That phrase has ruined the way we see something beautiful. Because rock and roll doesn't belong in the same sentence as drugs and meaningless sex. For decades, we've used sex, drugs, and rock and roll like a badge of honor, a life motto, a lifestyle, a brand. But it's a lie. Not because sex is evil, not because music is bad, but because what we attach to it is rotting the soul behind it. Rock and roll didn't start as a drug-fueled mess. It started as passion, as rebellion with meaning, as truth shouted through distortion and guitar solos. But once we paired it with drugs and empty sex, we hollowed it out. We made it look edgy, while quietly killing what made it great. Let's be real, drugs ruin everything. Not just lives, not just talent, but the message. How many legendary musicians were taken too soon? How many songs never got written because the artist drowned in addiction? And yet we still glamorize it. We slap rock and roll on a t-shirt next to a rolled-up dollar bill and call it freedom. But that's not rebellion. That's self-destruction marketed as culture. Then we throw in sex, but not the good kind. Not connection, not intimacy. Just quantity, just conquest. The kind of sex that leaves people more disconnected, not more alive. And we tell ourselves, this is freedom. But it's not. Meaningless sex, like drugs, numbs what rock and roll was supposed to awaken. Your spirit, your truth, your wild but grounded self. And that brings us back to rock and roll. Rock and roll is energy, emotion, truth-telling, soul. It's not about chaos. It's about realness. It's the cry of a generation that feels too much and says too little. It deserves better than being lumped into a slogan that glorifies collapse. Rock doesn't need drugs. It doesn't need cheap sex. It needs fire, and it has that on its own. So no, we don't need to cancel rock and roll. We need to rescue it, pull it out of the mess it got shoved into. Because rock still matters. Sex still matters when it's meaningful. But drugs? They never deserved a seat at the table. Let's change the philosophy. Not sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but love, freedom, and rock and roll. Because real rebellion isn't self-destruction. It's becoming fully alive without losing your soul in the process.